Welcome back to King's Court YouTube. This is Shrine King, and today I'm going to be talking about how to win in a heavy tank destroyer. So here you'll see that I'm actually queuing up with the T-28. First parts to kind of note is as a heavy tank destroyer, and the reason why I'm saying heavy is I mean like you're super heavy armored in comparison to a lot of other tank destroyers. So you have the benefits of kind of like a heavy, but not like a heavy, but more like a tank destroyer, but not like a tank destroyer. If that all makes sense to you, then congratulations. But that's really what it comes down to. So the T-28, right, is so heavily armored that, especially at the tier 8, most things cannot pen it. Most people don't even know how to pen it, even if you had a gun that could try to pen it. And where even the weak spots are to try to aim for, and so on and so forth. And not only that, but it's also even a pain for artillery, because I see a lot of artillery players that put shots into it and they don't really deliver any damage to it. So it's kind of sad. But when you're trying to play as a TD heavy, you got to bear in mind that one, you're going to be really slow. Now they did make some changes though. That made it where it's not horrible. So it used to be and I'm not kidding, in a T-28, you maybe got 12 kilometers an hour, and it usually took forever to even get up to speed. At least here, I'm watching it and I can see that, okay, well, you know what, it's actually hitting 21. It did seem to get up there pretty quick. Not so bad for their design now. Of course, I did unlock the bigger gun, so this is like a 400. Actually, I think this is my game where I had the bigger gun. So the bigger gun on it is 400 damage. The smaller one that I had was 300 something damage, which is kind of funny because the smaller one it fires a lot faster, so people don't realize when you have it. So in case you're not familiar with this map, typically what ends up happening is the enemy rush from one side to the next. So then they'll be all the way at the very bottom, what is that, J9 kind of area. And then you also see that there is a medium or heavy that's actually moving up. Actually, yeah, it's a Progetto 46, so this medium is coming up. Now, mind you, I have all these teammates that are there. I see people say that they're requesting fire at it. And yet, yeah, here we go. The team just lets him come all the way up. He is up. He is now behind me. Yeah, not what you'd really want to see, especially as a T-28, because yeah, it's a real pain to try to turn around. And now, of course, I'm going to be spotted from both sides. So here we go, the Progetto, awesome. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that kill, rightfully so, since I'm the one who's getting screwed. But now you can see all those tanks that I was talking about, so there they are. So if I knew I could trust my team, maybe I could have just stayed straight forward, taken the shot from the Progetto. The problem is, no matter what, this was not going to go very well. The Progetto was able to fire out 3 shots. That would have been at least probably 600 to 700 damage to me. Yeah, and it would not have gone good. It would have been at least half my health right there, and I didn't know for a fact if they were there or not. So here's another case. This is part of being a heavy. So this guy went right past me, tracked me, nothing I can do. Welcome to being a heavy tank destroyer. Now, most of that obviously is more due to my team. I was not really getting any support. Just bear that in mind, when you have a flank, especially on this map, I don't know why, but everyone seems to hold all the way back rather than trying to keep the enemy from pushing all the way up. If you do stay all the way back there, the problem that typically occurs there is that once they get there, they're still able to crossfire a lot of you. So what it ends up happening is you're taking shots from all different directions, all in the meantime trying to hold them, and you're just not going to. They're going to destroy you there. So what ends up happening is once that flake's gone, it's pretty much over. So you'll know I said how to win in a heavy tank destroyer. So we're going to show you another one. This is another clip. So now I'm on a T-28 prototype. So not a non-turreted heavy tank destroyer. Now I am turreted. Also, I really like the T-28 prototype. So if you've never played it, definitely recommend it. It's very cool. It's a lot of fun. Again, Still a heavy, right? So not really fast. Faster than it used to be. So there's that. That's at least a bonus. Some of these match loads take a little while, apparently. And you'll see now things are looking pretty bright here, right? So tier 8, top tier. I'm in a T-28 prototype. That's always a good thing. Now, in most cases, as a tank destroyer heavy, one thing I try to not do is try to be the guy who's going to spend most of the time just trying to maneuver into an area where a lot of faster tanks are going to get. So for example, based on where I spawned, if I was going to try to go all the way to that B0, that's a long run. The problem is people or enemies will probably already be in position. So typically you want to actually make sure to stay kind of farther back, get to a position where you know, like I actually could have moved up more based on the timing here. I didn't want to go too much farther though, because if you look with my binocs, I can actually see all the way up there, which also means if any enemy comes up that way and has view range like I do, so maxed it, they could see me. So that's why I'm actually hanging farther back, because when you're on the edge of it, that's okay, right? Because if you're on the edge of it, their chances of seeing you are pretty low unless you fire. If you fire, I mean, then you pretty much lost all your camo. So like here, I'm making a decision. I can go ahead and move up a little bit. And again, I'm heavy, so like there's a lot of armor on this thing. I don't really anticipate that they're going to be able to pen me too easily. So you'll see like now that the map's pretty well dispersed, the teams are all over the place. So I'm getting over here to try to see if I can get a shot. Got a little sight there. Now funny enough, hey, that looked like it should have gone, right? So I should have hit that guy. Well, there he is. And no, I didn't, right? There he is again. Now he's moving around. This is the life of a TD. So like, yep, here we go. So now given, right, when we talk about the target, all I can see is the top of his turret. There's a rock protecting him. If we lose sight, the game tends to like let the shot typically go wide. Here we go. And finally, I got a good shot where I actually had a higher chance to hit, like, you know, more than 10%. So those first two, like, really I only had like a 10% chance to hit. So it's not like I expected much on that. And here I see, oh, okay, they actually pushed up a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can get a shot in there. No shot there. And some of this, like, you know, it's just kind of keep an eye in case they actually do try to push around. You never know. So now I'm like, well, they are kind of winning that part. So these are things I like to think about while you're at it. So I know we seem to be holding our front on this side. The others on the other side with the hill engagement, where I saw like the IS-2 and stuff like that, that actually looks like they might be winning a little bit and pushing it. So that's where I'm like, okay, well, I actually want to move up a bit to see if I can't put some extra pressure on that part to hopefully get them to slow down or stop, and maybe even counter push it if my team can do good enough on that. So I see, okay, hey, another guy on my team died. So it does look like they're winning this engagement on that side. And here I'm on my way up. Now, one thing to note, because again, this is an American tank destroyer, I do have really good gun depression. But gun depression doesn't really amount to much if you can't really get a shot on the target. And here I'm like, oh crap, I just saw two different targets. Both of them lit up, so I should have a shot. Here we go, perfect. Now, again, when watching this, like I'm actually playing this pretty well and smart. Right? So I'm making sure, okay, well, hey, I rolled up there, I took a shot, and I'm gonna roll back, letting the reload come in. I'm gonna try to reposition. But now I'm seeing, okay, well, now there's an AMX that's actually kind of destroying, but there are two guys still over there, and hopefully they can take care of the AMX. In the meantime, the push that I was talking about, that I knew was coming, is now, it's working its way through, so things aren't looking so hot here. So I have to try to get into a position to try to support, and you see the guys calling for help. So these are all good choices. These are good plays. So now, in truth, I'm there to put pressure. I'm stopping them from here. But the problem is, I didn't notice that they had already taken over, and the KV-85 is actually rolling back. So he's not spotting anymore. So I don't know where those enemies are, which they probably would maneuver to come around so that they can fight me. In the meantime, the AMX CDC now has a buddy, which is bad for me, bad for my team. So now you'll see the T-34 85M is backing up. So really, in this situation, this is not looking very good for me. Now, if you look at the team score, I mean, it's 5-11. Well, I mean, you know, in a lot of cases, you're gonna say, well, how much can you really do in this kind of situation? And you'll see here, I'm putting shots at this IS-2, and I'm just not getting very lucky. Those were all good shots, all good probability to hit the target, and it's just not doing it. Now, there is a chance that really the shots are being deflected, but that very front corner section, that really shouldn't be a deflection. That should have been a penetration. But hey, you know, that's how it works sometimes. So here we see that I got a T-29 coming around on the right side of me. So like if you're watching the mini-map, you'll see he's actually going to be kind of behind me now. So I got this guy here in the Chrysler, which I'm like, all right, well, see if I could get a shot on him, which I can't. So then I'm like, all right, well, now there's another freaking target now behind me. So here I'm just surrounded. So I've done pretty much everything I can. I don't have a good shot on the Chrysler. Both bounce. So here's, and that's the funny part, right? So I'm a tank destroyer where a heavy just bounced off the side of me, or actually I absorbed it probably from the side. And chances are he was aiming at my turret, which wasn't very smart. So here you go, another way to win, right? Right? Maybe we're getting the gist here. In case you haven't figured it out, while playing heavy tank destroyers, what typically ends up happening is because of the limitation of your mobility, you are pretty dependent on your team. And if your team is just not holding it up, and yeah, you're probably not gonna win. I mean, now, hey, don't get me wrong, there's sometimes it just all plays out really nice. They all just come at you one at a time, you know, you're just like eating them one by one, right? Or they all decide, hey, you know what, we're way better than this, we can totally just take you on, you know, face to face, we don't need to maneuver around you at all. Which then, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, sure, I'll take that, that's fun. And sometimes that does happen, it really does. But any player that's played against a heavy TD knows to get around it, knows to not engage it face to face, and use your mobility against it. So like some of them will even charge you just because they know, hey, you're gonna get one shot in, and then after that, that's it. So if you have no team support, you're not gonna do very well. And it's just like all the cases there that you saw. Like I'm supporting where I can. The first one, my team didn't support at all, right? They let a Progetto get all the way behind me. And once after that, like, then I had another guy who just pushed right past me, right? And there's nobody there on my team to help me, right? So it's pretty sad, right? That's and that occurs, man. Like I've recently seen in the game that there's just not a lot of teamwork anymore, and it's really sad because the whole aspect of the game is you are a 15-man team, and you need to work together, right? Call things out. You know, if you got the super long reloads and stuff like that, call out your reload. Let your team know. That way that, hey, I mean, if they're depending on you to shoot something, and you show, hey, I got 25 seconds on my reload, well, they know not to depend on you to shoot. They're gonna hide. They're gonna try, you know, play defensive, stuff like that. I mean, if they're paying attention. You don't always run into where guys are, but so here we go. And this is another thing about yet again. All right, so I mentioned, you know, how to win. And I just kind of gave it away, right? Where I'm saying it's really dependent on your team working together. Like, yes, you will be a powerhouse. Yes, you can do some really cool things. And yes, you can take a lot of shots. But all of that will not play out very well for you if you don't have a team to help you. So, and this match will prove it to a point, right? So, here's a case. We have the scout going out to scout. On our side, good deal. There's me and one other tank destroyer. That's it. An entire flank. Me and a tank destroyer and one scout scouting. And then we have 2 artillery in the back. So that essentially it comes down to 2 of us because the artillery can support either side. And the scout is now leaving to go towards the other side. So here we are. We just sent, like, what is that? Like 11 people to one flank. And they're losing. Big time. They've already lost 3 people. That is 11 to at least like 6 or 7 guns I see right now. And they're losing. Right? If you look at the map, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, at least 4 people were spotted on our side. And there's actually more. Right? So there's probably like 6 on our side. Which means at best they're really going against like 7 to 8 guns on that side. So 11 guns, which actually, yeah, so 11 guns right now against their 7, and they're losing 4-0. Now, when I mentioned teamwork, right? So here's me and a Scorpion, right? We're sticking it out together. So we already plugged away on him. So far, it doesn't look like we're spotted, but we're gonna be. I mean, there's no way we stay away from being spotted this whole time. But I mean, here we are, right? So okay, cool. Another target comes up. All right, well, they might have spotted. Now, here's the thing, right? So the Scorpion that's with me, lightly armored, but he's got faster fire rate. And he does like 240 damage. He's mobile. He's got really good camo, which means he can hide a lot better than I can, which is good. Now, here we go. We got a scout coming up. Okay, now, see, he's got to back up. I'm taking the shots. No big deal, right? Now, we're working together. We both have to try to shoot. He missed. I miss. He rolled back up, so he did roll back. Bam, he got it. Okay, good. Now, I should still be spotted. We need to try to get the shots out if I can, which doesn't look like any of them we're going to shoot. So now I'm going to try to, like, I rolled back a little bit to see if I can trick them into it. They didn't fall for it. So now I'm moving up. Now, I mean, there's an Oni, so yeah, he sees me for sure. Bam, took up some more shots. Boom. Now the Oni, well, yeah, I don't think I'm really going to stop the Oni's like shot. And I don't know if that was high explosive or not, but it's pretty typical with an Oni or that style tank. So here we go. All right. And again, this is me rolling up, taking fire, getting the attention. But you'll see, even he has taken shots. So he's down to like 2% of his health. But, and here's the funny part, right? So this is the stuff that I was talking about. I have a kill, the Scorpion has a kill. Of our team, there's 5 kills. So between him and me, we've already snagged 2. The enemy team got 9, which pretty much was them killing the entire flank that went over there with the super amount of guns against their guns, and they just can't freaking like they couldn't match the damage of output apparently. So now it's 10-6, and we're still holding out, right? We don't really have a choice. Now here's the sad part, right? The scout is running around like crazy to try to spot their team, which is cool, but it would have been smarter for him to try to scout and make sure that the artillery wasn't going to get flanked. Now the artillery got flanked, there's nothing we can really do about it at this point, but we are going to try to do something. So I couldn't stop them from killing one of them, and then here's where me and the Scorpion, we're still trying to play together as best as we can. And here we go. So I drew a fire, like I'm still drawing fire, right? So that's the whole thing, is continue to draw fire where I can. And now we're kind of waiting. So like here's the thing, I know that, okay, this guy's gonna come up, the artillery's gonna see him. Here's where it gets kind of unlucky. Had I hit him, we probably would have killed him before he could have killed the Arty. So there he goes, he kills the Arty, now we kill him. Had I actually not hit his track, we would have probably killed him. The Arty would have lasted a little bit longer under the same sense, and would have, now sadly though, lost the artillery and I lost my buddy. Now, but here's the thing I want to note, right? So the scout running on his own did actually do pretty well for being on his own. Like he really did. But this is the same sense. It's a team game, guys. So yeah, I have 3 kills. And my Scorpion buddy, I think, had 1. So between 2 players, we racked in 4 kills together. 4 on our flank. 2 to like 4. Sorry about that. Apparently, Apparently the video got cut off a little early. So I mean, the gist was, if you're not working as a team in a heavy tank destroyer, things are going to be pretty rough. Um, I highly recommend that if you have buddies, run with your buddies where you can kind of work together, because as you saw in the last bit, just 2 people were actually making a pretty significant difference in the performance of the team. But that was only for one flank. Sadly, though, when you lose like 11 people on the other flank, there really isn't too much that you can do there. So again, I hope you guys enjoy this stuff. I am like, this one's kind of a joke, because I mean, it's not something where I'm like, oh yeah, it's a total great guide. I mean, you did see on certain styles on how to play, things that you could try to do, tactical decisions to make on the battlefield, how to work with somebody. But again, if you're going to play heavy tank destroyers, it's definitely with your like, you definitely want to be with your team. Hopefully you will have other teammates. Sadly though, when it comes to fast moving stuff, a lot of the team seems to be lemming rushing to one side, and that seems to be a kind of a pretty common thing now. But please feel free, leave a like, subscribe, and leave me any comments for material you guys are looking for or anything like that. Thanks, and see you again.